sir. Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Built. I'm your host, Jerry Middleton, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Man, it's been a long time. It's been a a little bit since we've gotten an episode out. I think it's been about a couple of weeks. We had the last episode drop, the surprise episode, and of course this also too is another surprise episode, but this will be the last episode for season 1. Currently I am still editing the first video for season 2, and you guys are really gonna like season 2. Season 2 is gonna be really good, just because of the theme and what it's going to be tailored around. I think you guys are really gonna like season 2 theme and everything like that. So really excited for that. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me on the release of that episode. But yes, this is the last episode for season 1. I wanted to kind of push things out a little far just because I was trying to give some time, space some things out. And then also too, I was also taking a bit of a mental break. Now with everything being more aligned, but also too with my current job right now with that just starting back in August. Cause again, like I said, I am a teacher. So I have to change my schedule around and make sure everything is situated and taken care of. And then also too, I coach in the afternoon. So I got a pretty busy schedule. But I am really super excited about today's episode. Just because today's episode is going to be focused on seasons of growth. And it's also going to be around alignment. So today's Daily Bread is alignment, realignment, and then seasons of growth. That is what we're going to be discussing today. And it's not going to be too long. It's going to be something super, super short. I wasn't planning on trying to make this episode any longer than what it needed to be, just because this is, like I said, this is the last one. And I really wanted to get this message out just because this is something that I've actually been experiencing myself for a little bit. Before I got on here in the camera with you guys. But real quick, before I start, 2 things. One, shout out to the social medias. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to Instagram. I really do appreciate y'all. I am extremely grateful and very appreciative of y'all. Thank y'all so much. Seriously. I will put something out and people will just love the messages that I give out. And it is just so amazing to see the world come together and just share the same type of mindset and type of love. I really do love that. So thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. And then second, I want to give a shout out to my boys, man. My football squad, man. Y'all, I really do love y'all boys, man. Y'all show this coach a lot of love, and I'm gonna show you guys a lot of love too, because y'all are some really good kids. Really do believe in y'all. I really do trust that you guys will be able to come through and take care of business this season, because we've been really working really, really hard leading up to our first game, which is Tuesday. So I'm super excited. So, shout out to my football squad boys, man. Y'all boys, y'all really come through, with the energy, and I love it. And I love that, y'all are taking, the next steps forward on building something great and becoming men. I really love that. And I'm glad that you guys, have someone that you can go to talk to. And, I really do appreciate that. So thank y'all. Shout out to y'all boys, man. So, all right, man, without further ado, let's get started. And like I said, you already know, whenever we do these episodes, it's no skips, no cuts, no edits, unless it runs a little too long. If it runs too long, then yeah, there will be some cuts. So if you do see a cut, then yeah, I'll probably say something. But other than that, yeah, we're going to make a cut here too. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's tea, Celestial tea. Shout out to Celestial tea. You know, yep. Wild berry, by the way, like I said, wild berry, that's the way to go. Oh, and then today's mindfulness practice, the idea space. Today's idea space card, because I do want to start incorporating this into it. Focused awareness. Meditate for 10 minutes. Focus all your attention on the breath. If you get distracted, do not judge yourself. The judgment itself is merely another thought. Note the thought and simply return to the breath. All right. So focus for 10 minutes, meditate for 10 minutes. If you have a thought that comes into your mind, that is okay, because it's just a thought. All right. Don't allow that thought to take you off track with what you're really focusing on. And that is a good segue in what we're getting ready to talk about today. So today's Daily Bread is going over realignment. In the past couple of weeks, I've been having my ups and downs. I've been, struggling a little bit with just trying to stay locked in and focused on my goals, right? But, who doesn't? Everyone goes through that moment in life where they need to have those moments of struggle and needs to refocus and get back on on top of their alignment, and really understand that, okay, look, this is the challenge that I'm currently facing right now. And I'm getting into a position where I'm getting a little too comfortable. Right. And so when you get in a position where you feel really uncomfortable, where you get really comfortable, right, you want to just coast, you want to chill. And then that's where your focus and things start to shift away from your purpose, and you begin to get back into those old habits, right? So what are some ways that allows you to be able to get back into realignment? How can you realign yourself? Well, the first step is being aware, right? So you alone, as the individual, you see that, okay, look, I understand that I'm starting to shift back into this old mindset. I can't be like that, right? So you're making it aware. Number two, step out of that comfort zone. Step out of that comfort zone. Get back into being uncomfortable, right? Because the thing is, when people get to a position of where they feel uncomfortable, it's something that's not new to. It's something that's not new. It's something that's new to them. They don't. They look at it as something like, oh, I don't like this. But instead of looking at it as I don't like it, look at it as a way of it's improvement. It's something that's bettering yourself. You are improving yourself. That is you growing. That is you getting better. That is you experiencing something new. That is you, as I would say before in my previous videos, you're stepping into the unknown, right? When we step into the unknown, it's fear. But don't look at it that way. Don't look at it as something fearful. Look at it as something great. Look at it as something monumentous. Oh man, I'm getting ready to step into the next big thing, right? So how you're, you're making yourself aware that you are starting to shift. You're starting to shift your focus, right? And then two, you are looking at it from a positive perspective and understanding that, okay, I'm getting back into the groove of things. I'm understanding that. And then three, just staying consistent and being disciplined with your real. We get it. We have our moments where we where we mess up, we make mistakes, and we beat ourselves up about it. But instead of just giving ourselves grace and really just understanding that, okay, mistakes happen, things happen. This is what I need to do to get back on my horse and keep going. Keep speaking positive about yourself. Be positive, right? And, that's what was going on with me. I started noticing there were some things that I was doing, kind of falling back into old habits, not really staying, true to some of my routines that I was doing. And I saw myself falling back into some ways that put me in that position before where I was at. And then I just took a pause. I was like, okay, let me pause real quick. All right, let me go ahead and switch to flip. Let me go ahead and flip the switch and get back going again. And it's sometimes it's easier said than done. Some people, they love to be comfortable. They love to be in the position where they feel comfortable and they don't want to change, right? And that's a bad mindset. You don't want to have that type of mindset. Like, why would you not want to stay in alignment, stay in the path of success, the path of growth, of where you're heading? Why would you not want to change? All right? Because when you're in that type of like stage where you're just comfortable and you're like it. When you're comfortable, it. And it doesn't feel good. It's just like you're lazy, your attitude is not the best. People around you are just like kind of just looking at you and they're like, man, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just chilling, I'm good. I don't want to do nothing. Like you really feel it and it doesn't feel good, right? It's because it's something in the back of your mind that's telling you like, hey, yo, look, like you kind of been slacking lately. Like you need to you need to get up and move a little bit. Do something. Do something with your life. Do something. All right. And there's a lot of like key factors that help you with that alignment, that help you, get back into that grind, get back into that mode. When you become very aware of it, then you start to see some things. Then you start to, shift a little bit and move forward and start grinding. I got a quote here about alignment, and it's a Stoic quote because I love Stoicism, and it's from the great Epictetus. Sorry, it's from the great Epictetus, and Epictetus says, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow." Let me say that again. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. That's so true. I really like that. I really like that. Have that mindset that everything is going to happen. Have that mindset knowing that, okay, this is meant for me. So I'm going to continue to keep grinding and keep going forward and doing what I need to do because this is what is aligned with me. This is this is my purpose, and this is something that I enjoy doing, and I'm going to continue to keep doing it. Right? I had this morning when I was writing in my journal, I was reading from my 40-day prayer journey. And my mom gave me this, and it's really nice because it has a lot of really good prompts, and it also helps me with my journaling in the morning. And there was a message on there that was talking about God's plan for you. Yeah, my plan for you, right? And one of the reflections on there was about a person who wanted to be in the military, because their brothers were they were in Japan and Vietnam, and their mom said absolutely not, right? And so I liked how the message was going, the reflection was going, because right in that next passage it said that sometimes when we get older, when we have visions of certain things, we often narrow our minds. We often narrow the path of where we're going, not understanding that God has a plan for us, and he understands that we want to be able to travel the world, or we want to be doctors, or we want to be football players, or we want to be teachers, or we want to be something great, right? He understands that because that is something that is within our hearts. That is something that we desire. It is in our hearts because we know that we are going to do things and fulfill it with good intention. And he has a plan for us, and he understands that that is where we want to go, because he's seen our future. But often we look at things in such a narrow mind, right? We do not understand that there's other ways that is able to help us be fulfilling in that way, right? So, and the message, right, as it continued on, it said that God has seen our plans. He's seen our future, and he has a plan for us. And in the end of the message, it said that God opened up his mind, and from there he put him in position to where he actually was able to see the world. But it wasn't from being in the military. He put him in position as far as like his career wise, his job, where he was able to travel the world and be able to see the world. So he was able to see Japan and Vietnam and all these beautiful, wonderful countries, right? So again, that's where it comes along with realignment, being realigned on your path and on track of where you're going. And understand that at moments, sometimes, we will stray off that path, and we will look at things narrow-minded. We will look at things from such a one-sided perspective. We do not understand that God is going to put us in a position to where we are able to see things from a bigger perspective. We are able to see things from wider eyes. All right. And that is where that awareness comes. All right. You alone as a person, man, you can't not. As you get older, your perspective and things will start to change on life as you continue to grow and continue to get better overall as a person, and you continue to keep doing good and change, change your habits and do better for yourself. You continue to keep working out. You continue to keep, improving on yourself. You continue to keep, cleaning up your space. You continue to keep taking care of yourself. You'll continue to keep rising in a job. Like there's so many different things that you'll continue to keep doing for yourself, as you keep God in your life, as you continue to keep leaning on him and asking for guidance as he guides you through this journey step by step, your awareness and perspective will begin to change. And then the things that you prayed for, right? He will put you in that position. and then you're going to realize, oh, wow, this is exactly what I prayed for. I'm exactly where I need to be. Right. For me, and it's interesting because I was also listening to an audio Bible book. I listen to a lot of audio Bible books. And right now I'm listening to Matthew. Yeah, Matthew, and I think it was on Matthew 5, book 5, and it was just talking about how. It was talking about how the children of God, how we're the children of God, and sometimes we have to actually go back and learn things from an elementary aspect in order to understand what it is that we need, right? Because sorry, I just drew a blank here. But I found that very interesting because for me, Because I'm actually teaching in an elementary school, right? And so for me, how my journey of where I've gone through and how I said I wanted to be a teacher, and now I'm back in the beginning as an elementary teacher to where I'm able to help shape and mold and build and spread love to the younger generation so that way they are able to help, change the world. And it's crazy. It's funny because I actually did pray for that. I did pray for that. I said that, man, I'm going to be an elementary teacher. I love elementary school because, the kids are just, for me personally, I feel like that is the best age group because they're so curious and their imagination is just it's so big. It's so big because you're able to, teach them specific tools and tips, but also to you're able to give them and show them love and give back to them. And from there, they're able to take those lessons and take the things that you learn. And then they're always going to remember the teacher that, that was a big impact on them. And then they're able to use that as they get older. I think it's great. And I thought it was just very interesting how in that book it was talking about that, like, just as far as our mindsets, because, in God's eyes, we are his children, right? And having that childlike mindset, we're always wondering, we're always curious, we're always asking questions, we're always, continuing to lean on our Father because he is going to guide us every step of the way. Man, so when we fall off our alignment, he is able to realign us and we are back on our purpose. Y'all, come on, bro. We are cooking today. We're cooking today. We're cooking. We're cooking today, bro. Let's go. We're cooking today. I'm going to drink to that. We're cooking today, bro. We're cooking today. Come on, man. Come on. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I really do. I love it. I love it. And it's really good to just be so locked in like that, right? And you're gonna have moments like this where you're really locked in because it's gonna be an aha moment. But the only way that you're able to have those moments is when you are really focused and locked in on your craft and you are not allowing anything to distract you. Of course, you're not perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect, right? Just try. Just try. That's it. God wants you to meet him halfway. And I've had this discussion before too with my with my boys, man. I told them that. I just say, yo, look, I just want you to try. I'm not asking you to be perfect. God is not asking you to be perfect. He isn't. He wants you to try. And as long as you try, as long as you keep moving forward every single day, as long as you keep getting 1% better each and every day, life is going to be good. Seriously. Your life is going to change because you're going to notice the progression and the steps that you're doing each and every day to help improve that. Excuse me. And where the hard part comes is just staying consistent. Malik said something the other day about being consistent gets boring. Doing the same routine over and over again, it gets boring. It's supposed to get boring. It's supposed to get boring. But you find joy in that because you're getting better. You're improving yourself every single day because it's fun. Man, I'm getting better every day. And I see the improvements every single day. That's the whole purpose. Man, come on, dog. Come on, man. Episode over, bro. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. I got a quote about seasons of growth and alignment. The quote here is, growth is painful. Change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. Mandy Hale. That is so true. Growth can definitely be painful. I can definitely be a testimony to that. Growth can definitely be painful. Man, through a lot of my seasons of struggle, I thank God every single day for my seasons of growth. And I don't look at my seasons of struggle anymore. I don't call it seasons of struggle. I look at it as seasons of growth, and I thank Him for those seasons of growth. I've learned to change my verbiage on a lot of things now. You know, it's no longer mistakes. I look at them as lessons, and my seasons are no longer seasons of struggle. They're seasons of growth. Because within that growth, I am shedding my former self. I am changing my former self, and I am becoming a better version of me. You know, the version that God sees. I'm being a better man. You know, and you know that comes with time, and that comes with age. Some people, that it takes time for people to understand that, right? Some people get it at an early age. Others get it at an older age, right? But as long as you end up becoming aware of that, that's the best part. But growth is painful. There are going to be some losses. There's going to be some heartbreaks. There's going to be some risks that you take that, you know, that are going to be that are going to be bad, right? And it's going to hurt you in the long run, right? But that's growth. That's life, right? And that goes back to what I was saying about, you know, just being, you know, comfortable, right? When you're comfortable, you're not growing. You're not. I'll be honest with you, you're not. You're not. But when you become uncomfortable, that is considered growth, because that's a new challenge. That's something different. That's something new, right? And when you start to feel that discomfort, when you start feeling that discomfort, you know, it really shapes you as a person. It really defines you, who you are. All right. Right now, there's a lot of people in the world who are experiencing some discomfort. Right. But the forces to be, right, the Creator, God Himself, right, you know, He's pushing us to be better, because He wants us to be better, because He loves us, because that's what real love is, man. Real love is somebody staying on you and constantly pushing you every single day to make you better, because they see that higher version of you. They know, oh man, he got it. He's got it. All right. So when I'm talking to everybody behind this camera lens, right, you know, I see that better version of you. Right. I see it. God sees it, but you have to see it. You have to believe it, and you have to be aware and know that, hey, He's right. I can do this. I can. To all my brothers and sisters, this ain't just for the men. This episode is not just for the men. This is for men and women, right? I believe in you, and I see it, and I know that you can do it, but you yourself have to see it. You yourself have to believe in yourself and know that, okay, I can grow. I can be better. I can change, you know, who I am as a person, you know, for yourself, right? That's the same thing with me. Every single day when I step into that mirror and I look at myself, I look at that reflection and I see a man. I see someone who has been building, who has been growing, who has been changing, who has been just overall just turning into a better person. That former self that I knew 2 years ago, man, I didn't like that version of myself, man. I really didn't. You know, he wasn't a good person. He really wasn't. You know, and that's why, you know, I'm where I'm at today. But where I'm at today, I'm extremely proud of myself. I really am, because I have really changed. I really have. I'm just proud of my growth, and I'm going to continue to keep going growth. This isn't me boasting about it, right? Because I've been humbled plenty of times. God has definitely humbled me. Definitely humbled me, right? And I thank Him, right? He's getting all the credit, because He's the reason why I am where I'm at today. God's going to get all the credit. He is guiding me every step of the way, because I couldn't have done this without Him. And understand that you cannot do this alone. You yourself cannot do this alone. right? You cannot lean on your own understanding. But through God, He will guide you through that. That's why it says, lean on God. Lean on your faith. Lean on Him. He will guide you through every step of the way. You got it. And I believe in you. And I know that you can do it. That's what it means to grow. And it's consistent, right? You'll have your days. You will have your days where you'll fall off, right? But it's about being consistent and getting back up and pushing forward. That's what it's all about. That's what it means to grow in life. Life is the best teacher in the world. And it can teach us a lot. And of course, you have all the other teachers out there in the world, who are really, doing a really good job of teaching all ages, right? Of, teaching and showing these students, showing these kids in life on how to get better, right? And I give a shout out to y'all. I really do. Shout out to all you teachers, elementary teachers. Shout out to all the teachers at my school too. Y'all are doing a hell of a good job, because I see you guys every time I step into your classroom. Y'all are doing a fantastic job. I think y'all are doing a great job, which is why I always come in and check on y'all to make sure y'all are, y'all are good. I say, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? Good. You're doing a good job. Keep going. It gets stressful. It does. We know that, but we're doing God's work. That's some of the stuff that I'm learning right now at school. They before I end today's episode, it said, how can we continue to stay on track with our educational objectives while also incorporating biblical views? And one of my answers to that was, we can still stay within our educational means with our students, but with our students, right? While also just incorporating the teachings of what Jesus has taught us, right? Jesus taught us to love one another. So every single day while I'm at school, I am giving my all and giving my love to every child that I see, from pre-K to fifth. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Dabbing them up. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Giving them the hug, giving them high fives, saying, hey, I like your outfit today, or man, I love your shoes, or man, I see you with your backpack. Oh, you play Minecraft. Oh, I see you with the Sonic. Oh, you like Pokemon, man. I love Pokemon too, man. Pokemon is my favorite. Like, just interacting with them, giving them that little interaction each and every day. That brightens a child's day. Wow, this guy, he has an interest in what I have an interest in. That's cool. They look up to that. They love that. Right? And that's us showing love to these kids each and every single day. Even when they do make a mistake, even when they do mess up, they don't know. Right? It's the same thing with what Jesus said when He died on the cross. Father, forgive them, for they do not know. It all correlates, y'all. It all correlates. And with that being said, that is the end of today's episode. Truly grateful and appreciative of everyone. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. My name is Jaron Middleton. I appreciate y'all. And remember, 1% better each and every day. Peace.